How long will you waver between two opinions?
Welcome back to the Bible Story Series. In the last episode, we discussed the family tragedies of King David's later years. Now, the life of this legendary king is drawing to a close. Just like in any palace drama, the old king hasn't even taken his last breath before the princes start fighting for the throne. David's fourth son, Adonijah, relying on his seniority and vast connections, privately held a banquet for generals and priests, preparing to declare himself king. When the news reached the palace, the prophet Nathan and Bathsheba rushed to see David. Although physically weak, David's mind was still sharp. He knew the fate of the nation hung in the balance, so he made one final, thunderous move. He immediately ordered young Solomon to ride the king's own mule to the Gin spring to be anointed and crowned. This preemptive strike instantly crushed the coup. Before his death, David called Solomon to his bedside and had a man-to-man conversation. "I am about to go the way of all the earth. So be strong, act like a man." He instructed his son that the foundation of ruling a country is not political maneuvering, but observing God's laws. And so, Israel officially entered the era of Solomon. Solomon sat securely on the throne, but he was actually panicked inside. He knew he was too young and didn't know how to manage these millions of people. One night, God appeared to him in a dream and said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." If it were an ordinary person, they might ask for great wealth, immortality, or the death of their enemies. But Solomon's answer surprised God. He said, "I am only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties. Give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong." God was very pleased because Solomon asked for the ability to govern, not for selfish gain. God said, "Since you have asked for this, I will give you not only wisdom but also what you have not asked for, both wealth and honor." Solomon's wisdom was soon put to the test. Two prostitutes came to the court with one living baby and one dead baby. Both claimed the living one was theirs, and the dead one belonged to the other. In ancient times without DNA testing, this was a case with no evidence. Solomon looked at the two arguing women and calmly ordered, "Bring me a sword. Cut the living child in two and give half to one and half to the other." Hearing this, the fake mother said, "Fine. If I can't have him, neither can you." But the real mother was heartbroken and cried out, "Please do not kill him. Give the baby to her. Just let him live." Solomon immediately pointed to the real mother and said, "She is the real mother. Give the baby to her." This verdict spread throughout the country, and the people held the king in awe, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him. With wisdom and wealth, Solomon began the greatest project of his life, building the Holy Temple. This was originally his father David's dream, and now he was fulfilling it. This temple was unimaginably luxurious. He employed tens of thousands of workers, brought the best cedar from Lebanon, and covered all the interior walls and floors with pure gold. On the day the temple was completed, the priests brought in the Ark of the Covenant, and the glory of God filled the temple like a cloud, so much so that the priests could not stand to minister. That was the highest point in Israel's history. Silver was as common as stones in Jerusalem. Even the Queen of Sheba came from afar with a great caravan to pay homage. After hearing Solomon's wisdom, she exclaimed, "The report I heard does not even do justice to half of the reality." However, even the wisest man can struggle with the trap of romance. For political alliances, Solomon married princesses from all the surrounding nations. The Bible records that he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. This wasn't just a problem of lust, it was a disaster of faith. These foreign wives brought their idols into the palace. Young Solomon could hold his ground, but in his old age, his heart was led astray. He actually began to follow his wives in worshipping idols, and even built shrines for these false gods across from Jerusalem. God appeared to him twice, warning him not to do this, but he wouldn't listen. Because of the leader's corruption, God announced judgment. "Since you have broken my covenant, I will surely tear the kingdom from you. Yet for the sake of your father David, I will not do it during your lifetime, but I will tear it out of the hand of your son." After Solomon died, his son Rehoboam succeeded him. At this time, the people's pent-up anger erupted. They sent representatives to say, "Your father put a heavy yoke on us and taxed us heavily. If you lighten it, we will serve you forever." Rehoboam asked the elders, who advised him to be kind to the people, but he chose to listen to the entitled friends he grew up with. So, Rehoboam said something incredibly foolish to the people. "My father scourged you with whips. I will scourge you with scorpions. My little finger is thicker than my father's waist." This sentence instantly detonated a civil war. 10 tribes angrily declared independence, made a man named Jeroboam king, and established the northern kingdom of Israel. Rehoboam was left with only 2 tribes in the south, known as the southern kingdom of Judah. The glorious empire was thus split in 2. After the split, the northern kingdom of Israel got worse and worse. By the time of King Ahab, the situation had hit rock bottom. Ahab married the wicked Queen Jezebel. Together, they killed God's prophets and promoted the worship of Baal, an evil idol, throughout the land. In this darkest moment, God raised up a prophet like fire, Elijah. As soon as Elijah appeared, he pointed at the king and declared, "Unless I say so, there shall be neither dew nor rain these next few years." Then, the country truly suffered a severe drought for 3 years. This was a direct showdown between God and Baal, who was supposedly the god of rain. 3 years later, the time for the final battle arrived. Elijah stood on Mount Carmel to challenge 450 prophets of Baal. The rules were simple. The God who answers by fire and burns up the bull on the altar is the true God. The 450 false prophets danced and screamed from morning till noon, even cutting themselves with swords. But what happened? No response. Then it was Elijah's turn. He deliberately had people pour 12 large jars of water over the altar, soaking the meat and the wood completely. Then he prayed a short prayer. "Lord, let it be known today that you are God." As soon as the words fell, fire from heaven crashed down. It instantly consumed the sacrifice, the wood, and even licked up the water in the trenches. Seeing this, all the people fell prostrate and cried out, "The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God." This great victory proved that even in chaotic times, God is still in control.